I discovered that I forgot to include tags in one of my highest performing listings in one of my shops. This changed my perspective on what tags are even for. I went on a dark, deep rabbit hole and I found some answers. And in this video, I wanted to share those answers with you. And after watching this video, you will have an accurate understanding of what tags are even for and get rid of the fluff. Now, if I used them correctly, I could have had even more sales. And I'll tell you how to do that so that you can have even more sales and benefit from having tags. Now let's go back and talk about how this listing was made originally. Now originally my wife opened up this Etsy shop. It's for baby onesies and pacifier clips and bibs. She didn't put the listings at the highest quality, and that's fine, but she still started to generate quite the sales. Enough for her to be able to fulfill some orders whilst being a stay-at-home mom. A year goes by, I decided to take over the shop. And I said, hey, I'm going to take over the shop and let me infuse some of my knowledge and creativity into the shop. And of course, we decided to hire a photographer as the first thing that we wanted to do. Now, the pacifier clips in particularly, we took the photos from this to this. Not only was it a cute photo, but this is what happened to the actual growth of that listing. It started to grow well. It started to do really well. Now, one of the tips that I will talk about in my next video that I'm going to release that I want you guys to catch, so make sure to hit the bell so that you are notified when that video is released. That one of the tips that I will talk about there is create a variation of a listing that is doing well. Now, since the pacifier clip, specifically this listing, is doing well, I decided to replicate the listing and create a variation, create something with a little bit of finesse and love to that listing. And this is what I came up with. And once I replicated the listing, I started to just kind of quality control that listing and came across the tags, and they were zero. Now, in order to understand tags, we need to understand what relevancy is. And relevancy really depends on several factors. When a customer is looking, say a font, right? They're looking for a font and they wrote handwritten font. Now, two people can write that same keyword and have very different meanings what that means. For one person, it will be handwritten cursive font. For the other person, it will be a handwritten farmhouse font. How does the algorithm determine which listing will be more relevant for that customer? For the customer, it's going to consider previous searches. Has this customer looked for calligraphy before? Has this customer looked for anything wedding related? If the customer has, then the algorithm then determines that when they write handwritten font, they're looking for something along the lines of the previous keywords that they search. Now, tags are meant for you to put different ways of writing that same product. So the reason why my product was still able to sell really well, turns out that the title doesn't need to be repeated in the tags, because title is used for SEO. So anything that you repeat from the title in terms of keywords in the tag is a waste of time. The category section is also used for SEO. The section that you allow your customers to organize or filter out your products when they come to your store is used for SEO. First few sentences of your description is used for SEO. So if any of those keywords you repeated in the tag, it means nothing and is a waste of time. Instead, what you need to do is put keywords in your tags that would make your title or description spammy if you were to add them in there. For example, if I'm selling the farmhouse style font, if I were to use farmhouse distressed handwritten font for your liking, that's not going to work. It's very spammy. Or if your title is just full of those keywords that don't make sense, tags lift your burden on having to stuff your titles and your description. So tags, you need to add, so the kind of tags you need to add is any color, any texture, any style that you that would otherwise make your title spammy, add them into your description. Because the tags is basically surround your customer's interest that they were interested before in terms of style, textures, design. Surround your customers with those things to make your listing more relevant for your customer. So only start doing your tags when you've understood your customer, so that when they type in handwritten font, you know exactly the kind of customer that is looking for your listing. They're looking for calligraphy. They're looking for cursive, minimalistic. All those keywords you will come up after you've discovered your customer. So don't rush your tags before you know who your customer really is. All right, so I actually wanted to show you exactly how you can find the right tags to add to your listing. Again, remember, we're trying not to repeat the words that we are putting in the title, so we need to come up with different words. So for example, if we are doing handwritten font, what exactly are we doing? So for example, let's just say we are going to do calligraphy. So the first thing what we want to do is look at the reviews. The reviews, customers will leave the impressions that they've got from this font. So for example, let's look at the first one we use for a wedding, beautiful script font. So we're going to start to put together a list of all the keywords that we're finding that describe this listing. So signage, we're going to look for signage because people use this for signage for weddings. We're going to look for brush-like strokes. This is all the kind of keywords you need to add to your tags. Have those keywords start to pop up what the customers felt and or what they used the font for. The other thing is that what I would look for is look at your competitors and what they've used it for. So obviously they used it for the weddings. We're gonna look for color, like any keywords that they tell their customers in regards to the style of this font. So we're gonna do watercolor, for example, watercolor. All right, so the next method we're going to use is actually use ChatGPT. So we're going to say, give me synonyms of calligraphy used for wedding signs. And what we're going to do is having the algorithm tell us all these keywords that we can start really putting into our listing. If we have discovered that it is used for wedding signs, we have now a list of things that we can add to our tags. Remember, we're trying to find words that we wouldn't add to our description or title, but they would help the relevancy of our listings to match the customer's needs or what they're going to be using the listing for. Now, in order to understand your customer, that will also help you in designing the product. Watch this video because I talk about how to understand your customer. Only then can you really, truly write tags, and don't waste your time by repeating the title and the description in your tags. Hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.